Welcome, Langley High School class of 2025. We are so happy to be talking with you a little bit today. So before we get rolling, we just wanted to connect and make sure that you recognize that we are here for you. I know that the last couple of years have been very challenging with the coronavirus and the pandemic. And I know, we all understand that it's been challenging for students and families. The transition from middle school to high school can be overwhelming just in any normal year. So please know that as your school counselors, we are here to help you with this transition, just like we would be any normal year, but just knowing that this year there's a few other added layers and complications that might arise. So please know we are here for you if you need anything as you are transitioning from your middle school to Langley High School. So our principal is Miss Kim Greer, and your assistant principal as you come into Langley will be Mr. Jim Sykes. We have a principal and then an assistant principal that follows you all 4 years that you are in high school. So you will have Mr. Sykes your freshman through senior year. At Langley High School, we really value the 4 C's, and those are care, connect, celebrate, and commence. In our Student Services Department, we have Mr. Braden Peterson, who is our Director of Student Services. And then as you can see, we have 7 school counselors, and we are all divided by alphabet. So Mr. Johnson has last names A through Chang. Mr. Mantell is Chap through G-A-N. Miss Malone is G-A-O through K-A-Z. Mr. Reddy, K-E-A through M-A-T-U. Miss Baltazar is M-A-T-Z through Q. Miss Robinson, R to S-U-L. And then Miss Johnson, S-U-M-A to Z. So just like with Mr. Sykes, your AP, you will have the same school counselor your freshman through senior year. So we will have a lot of opportunities to get to know each other, which is always great. And we're really looking forward to it. So it is important as you're entering freshman year to have a clear idea of the graduation requirements, and they've changed a little bit over the years. So we just want to make sure everybody is aware of the standard diploma versus the advanced diploma. There are some similarities and a few differences. So the biggest difference between the two is that with the advanced diploma, you need 4 years in all of your core courses. So 4 years of math, 4 years of science, 4 years of English, and 4 years of social studies. With a standard diploma, you only need 3 years. You'll need a full 4 years in English for both. But with a standard diploma, you only need 3 years in math, 3 years in science, and 3 years in social studies. For both the diploma types, you need 2 years of health and PE. And so that'll be your 9th grade year and your 10th grade year. And then every student needs to take an economics and personal finance class. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but that's typically done in your, your last 2 years of high school. And then with the advanced diploma, you need a world language. So you can do that in 2 different ways. You can either take 3 years of the same language, so Spanish 1, 2, and 3, or you can take 2 years in 2 different languages, which would be something like Spanish 1 and 2 and French 1 and 2. With a standard diploma, you do not need a language requirement for graduation. There are fine arts and career and technical education requirements for both diploma types. We have a huge list of classes that fit under that umbrella. So if you have any questions about it, please talk with your counselor. And then electives make up the last part of your credits that you need for graduation. With a standard diploma, you will need 22 credits to graduate. The advanced diploma, you need 26 credits to graduate. We know that this is a lot of information and it can feel overwhelming at first, but please know as you're progressing your way through high school, you'll be hearing about this over and over again, so you'll have a real clear understanding of the different diploma types and what you need to take in order to accomplish those. So in addition to your regular graduation requirements, your regular credits for your diploma, you'll need something called verified credit requirements. And this is really, it's just you passing your SOLs. So you will need 5 SOL tests by the time that you graduate high school. And that is, it doesn't matter whether you're getting the standard or advanced diploma, you'll need 5 SOLs for either one. 2 of those will come from English, and this happens your 11th grade year. So in English 11, you'll do a reading and writing. And then the 3 additionals come from 1 in the social studies, so either World History 1, 2, or USVA History. You'll also need 1 in math. That can be an Algebra 1, Geometry, or Algebra 2 SOL. And then you'll need 1 in science, which again could be biology, chemistry, or geosystems. So 5 SOLs total for graduation. At Langley, we run a block schedule. So we have green days and gold days. Green days are odd and gold days are even periods. And as you can see on here, we also have something called Saxon Time, which is almost like an advisory period. So it is time for you to connect closely with a teacher, kind of build those relationships with teachers and other students that are in your grade level, and then also have some time for homework or additional support that you might need from your teachers. So it's a great time to kind of get connected with your peers and other teachers and get some homework done if you need to. In addition to that, we do have a lunch period, and then as you can see, it just kind of shows you an outline of the time for each class period. This may be different depending on if we are in the building or not, and I know that we will know information about that as we progress over the next couple of months. But this is a general idea of the time frame for your classes at Langley. So a typical 9th grade schedule looks like the following. So everyone will have an English class. They will have a world history class, a science class, typically biology, and then a math class. This will differ depending on what math you are currently in middle school. So generally students will be in algebra, geometry, or potentially algebra 2 when they enter in as freshmen. You will all need a health and PE 9 course. Typically, students take a world language, specifically if they're going for that advanced diploma that is required. If you are not going for the advanced diploma, then you would fill in, an alternate elective in that space. And then there's room for a 7th period or 7th class elective. So those are the general guide for what you're going to take as a freshman here at Langley.
And as it relates to the typical schedule, we have regular courses and we have honors courses. So I'm going to talk to you right now about the differences for the honors for English and World History 1. So some things you should do: you should absolutely love to read, be able to comprehend multiple chapters of a novel at night, and be able to handle 1.5 hours of homework per class period. This is really for students who are out-of-the-box thinkers, very analytical in nature, and someone, realistically, you have to like it, right? Just because of the workload that's going to be expected of you. If we go to the next slide, here is the difference between the standard versus the honors in terms of the reading level. So standard versus honors, you both are, you're going to cover the same material each and every time. However, the honors is going to go a little bit more in depth, and here's just a quick visual as you can see how much more you may read. And then in addition to that, there's a little bit more writing as it relates to the honors. So honor students write about every 3 weeks. Standard students write a little less frequently, and they'll work through more drafts. Both honors and standard level classes average 1 common writing assessment per quarter. Then we get into science. And then again, content is the same, but the honors goes a little bit deeper. So some skills you need to have in order to be able to do the biology honors is be highly organized, be strong independent workers, good analytical thinkers, And the main difference here is an independent research project that's worth 10% of the grade. So usually students, some may think of this as like the science fair. However, you don't need to present at the science fair. You'll present your project at the end of the school year. And if you're continuing on into honors the following year, you can use the same project that could be eventually submitted at the science fair. But that's something, that's the main difference with the honors. Honors math, just depending on level at which you're at, like you would either come in with geometry, some people will be doing algebra. We do not have Algebra 1 honors, but we do have geometry honors and Algebra 2 honors. So the differences here mostly is that last statement where it says teachers guide students through new concepts, but they may not present 100% of the material in class. This is especially true on exams. Teachers will go over content, but they might not specifically cover a particular problem. They're going to expect that you are able to apply the concept that you learn to the actual problem. And again, you have to be able to work independently. And usually the pace in honors geometry and algebra 2 is ahead of the other course. So the material just moves a lot more quickly, and you may not stay as long on a particular topic. Should you take an honors class? These are some questions that you need to ask yourself, okay? Am I making an A or a B plus in the corresponding middle school course? Am I intellectually curious? Do I have an interest and passion for the subject? Can I do my homework on a daily basis without much supervision? Do I have an out-of-school schedule that will allow me more time to focus on school? And do I love to read? I cannot stress enough the importance of balance, okay? You have to, the main thing that the freshmen always come in and say is, I wasn't expecting this much homework. You will have homework every night, whether you take regular or honors courses, okay? If you're taking honors, though, the homework is going to be a little bit more. So what you really need to pay attention to is what else do you do outside of school? Does your schedule allow for you to both be a kid, have focus on your home commitments, after school commitments, as well as your academics? If the answer is yes, then certainly, you know, honors is for you. However, high school classes do count. So we want to make sure that, you know, you're not overstretching from the start. Honors classes do get an additional 0.5 weight added to their transcript. So for an example, if an A in English 9 is worth 4 points, an A in English 9 honors is worth 4.5. So we are adding 0.5 to the GPA. We add 1.0 for classes, for AP classes. So if you are in an AP class, instead of a 4.0, it becomes a 5.0. There are no AP classes for freshman year. Next, we get into the different levels of health and physical education. Okay, as we said before, this is a graduation requirement. So in the 9th grade, there's 3/4 of PE, 1/4 of health. And in addition to that, students must take CPR in order to graduate. And so CPR is given during the 9th grade year as part of the health curriculum. So you will get that there. And then in 10th grade, you do 2/4 of PE, 1/4 of health, and 1/4 of driver's ed. And then some electives that we have are sports medicine for the 9th grade. Economics and personal finance is another graduation requirement that we have. We all have it both in standard and honors, and it also satisfies the virtual course requirement for graduation. After this course, you are given a WISE exam, which is a CTE credential that can be used for graduation, just depending on what type of diploma you're receiving. But economics and personal finance, you cannot substitute that course for any other class except AP Macro Microeconomics. Okay, we get a lot of questions of, oh, well, can I take accounting instead of economics and personal finance? The answer is no. The only course that you're able to take is AP Macro Micro, and that isn't available until junior year. This course is open grades 9 through 12. However, because of some of the content that's offered, it's more such as, buying a house and personal, banking and taxes and things like life after high school type stuff. It's recommended for grades 11 and 12, but certainly grades 9, 10 can take it as well. It's just up to you in terms of where you see your schedule balancing out. Then we have several different languages at Langley. As you can see, we have Spanish, French, German, Russian, Japanese, Chinese, and Latin. We only have German 2, 3, and 4 next year. So just something to consider. So you'll notice on the course selection sheet, which we'll talk about here in a minute, that will be the only offerings for German. But we do have level 1 languages in the rest of those. So I'm just going to read to you here the different types of electives that we have open to 9th graders. So Langley High School's website, there will be a rising 9th grade registration form on there. And that's where you'll be able to see all the electives that are available to you. In addition to that, you'll also be able to see videos by our teachers that talk about all the different electives and also talk about all the different English 9 honors versus regular. You'll be able to hear directly from all of our teachers in all of the different subject areas. So I'm not going to spend time getting into the nitty-gritty of what all of these entails because you'll be able to hear directly from our teachers about them. So humanity electives open to 9th graders is film study, forensics and debate, journalism 1, which is really our newspaper, broadcast journalism. We have current affairs and political science. And those are 0.5, 0.5, so they go together. So you'll notice that on the course selection sheet. There will be 2 different ones, but if you decide to sign up for current affairs, political science goes with it. Then we have creative writing, and new courses to Langley this year is African American history and combating intolerance. Then under the performing arts, we have band, percussion ensemble, jazz ensemble, which is our 8th period, and used for any students who are interested in color guard. We have mixed ensemble, music theory, orchestra, choir, theater 1, and tech theater. There will be auditions for band and orchestra, and they will be reaching out to your current music teachers to schedule those in the coming weeks. Then also fine arts, we have studio art and design 1. We have 2D studio art, digital design, photography, photojournalism 1, which is our yearbook, and 3D studio art, which is really ceramics and sculpture. Then for CTE, which is Career and Technical Education, and you'll notice when we talked about the graduation requirements before, graduation requirements do require a fine art or CTE. So here are the CTE electives available to you. We have intro to marketing, and we have a regular intro to marketing course, and then we have a fashion emphasis course. We have programming, information systems, and STEM design.
So
go ahead.
So we know that we have just given you a lot of information about different classes that are offered at Langley. If you have any questions about the appropriate place for you, please talk with your middle school teachers and counselors. They're a great resource to guide you as to what would be the best options for you as you are entering into Langley next year. So one thing we do want to make sure that you recognize and think about is that high school counts now. So a lot of times students will say, oh, why does it matter now? Like I need to focus when I'm a little bit later in high school. Freshman year is just kind of my time to get into things and not really not really worry about it. But you do need to focus on high school now. So many of you are already earning high school grades in middle school, which is amazing. So maybe you're doing a language class or a math class where you are earning high school credit. That will be on your high school transcript. So those grades and that GPA will calculate into your overall GPA at Langley High School. There are options of expunging a course and grade if you are in middle school and you took a class that's a high school level class and you are not, you're not feeling satisfied with the grade that you received. You can talk with your middle school counselor about that, or when you are transitioning to Langley, definitely connect with your high school counselor immediately if that's something that you're wanting to do. There are also options of retaking a course or doing summer school. Again, if that is something that you're interested in, that you feel like you need for your own personal circumstance, just connect with your school counselor and they will make sure to get you the correct information on that. But definitely, again, high school does count now. And so making sure that you're heading into Langley and you're feeling like you're focused, and definitely reaching out to people if you need additional assistance or support. We are all here. So keys to high school success. There are a lot of key factors to look at, and really it all comes down to balance. So we want you to think about courses that challenge you, but don't completely overwhelm you. So don't just take all easy courses, but don't take things that are going to be completely overwhelming and take over your life. So finding that balance in those courses, stretching yourself a little bit, but not going over the top. Really important also to get involved in sports and clubs and activities. This is something that not only helps you socially and emotionally, but when you are applying to colleges, they want to see this stuff. They want to see that you've been involved in things outside of your academics. It's an important part of who you are and your own personal development. We definitely want you to also make healthy choices. So that includes having a healthy diet. So you are focused on eating good, healthy, and nourishing foods that are going to help with your sleep and your ability to stay focused in school. And also your organization, that's a huge piece. We talked about how if you are planning on doing honors courses, and then of course as you transition up throughout your time at Langley, AP courses are also an option. Having organization skills is really important. It's a large workload, and so if you're not organized, it can feel a bit overwhelming. And then also recognizing that you have resources and using those resources to develop routines and good academic habits. And just knowing that you're not alone in this. So if you're struggling with organization, if you're struggling with your classes, please reach out to your school counselor. We are here to help you kind of work through any difficulties or any stumbling blocks that come your way. We will have a program for freshmen, a freshman transition and Langley Links program, which you will get more information about as we're transitioning through the fall. So keep your ears and eyes out for that. So we are really thankful that you took the time to listen to this presentation today, and we want to welcome you to Saxon Country, and just recognize that we know this is a huge transition, and we are super excited to have you with us at Langley next year. So take care of yourselves, stay healthy, and we are so excited to meet you soon.